Good morning. My name's John Coleman, and I am the Executive Director of the Bay Planning Coalition. And on behalf of BPC, I'd like to welcome all of you to our 24th Annual Decisionmakers Conference. The theme of the conference this year is the economy in 3D, jobs, jobs, and jobs, and what can be more important than jobs at this point in time. It's very easy for us to be pessimistic when one looks at what's happening across the globe, the impacts it has on the price of gasoline, our federal budget, the state budget, and its multi-billion-dollar deficit. Some cities looking at declaring bankruptcy. We all know that the economy is recovering, but it's still in a very fragile state. And something could happen that could cause the economy to go into a deeper recession. So what do? Do we bury our heads in the sand and hope that it goes away? No, we know that will do nothing, it solves nothing, and it's certainly not productive. I, for one, believe that we have an economic future that has opportunities, and we should not look at it in a negative light. With each challenge comes another opportunity, and that's exactly what this conference is about this morning. At this DMC conference, we have representatives from private industry, local government, regulatory agencies, all sitting down together in order to have a serious dialogue about the challenges of operating businesses here in a highly regulated environment and wanting to succeed. We certainly do not live in this area because of the low cost of housing, the price of fuel, the general cost of living. Rather, we live here because we love the Bay, the environment, the job opportunities, and this is what we call our home. A measure of success for a business is not just the bottom line for a profit, but to create more jobs and to create a decent living for those employees that it has on its payroll. Plain and simple, the regulatory agencies are here to assure that we comply with the laws which govern what we deem as important to society. Often it appears that the business community and the regulatory environment are at odds, yet it does not have to be this way. Now is the time while we are coming out of our longest economic recession since the Great Depression to look at fundamentally how business and government operates. And what we need to do is today is that this starting point is lead to success, having all entities sitting down at the table talking and having a frank discussion so that everybody has success and succeeds. At this point, I'd like now to introduce our board president of the Bay Planning Coalition, Rick Rhoads, and he's with the firm Moffitt Nickel. Rick?
Thank you, John. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's conference. It's a pleasure to see you all here. I have only a couple of items to cover before we move into the first speaker. First, I'd like to direct your attention to the screens on either side of me where a listing of our sponsors is being shown. We wish to thank, I hope it's being shown. It's coming. We wish to thank our 50 generous sponsors, and particularly thank our hosting sponsors. One being a joint venture of Cargill and DMB Associates, and two, the Port of Oakland. So if you would all give them a round of applause. Also, I'd like to recognize all of our Bay Planning Coalition Board of Directors that are present. I would like them all to stand and be recognized and thanked. And now it's my privilege to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. Lewis Stewart. He is the Deputy Director, Innovation and Emerging Technology in the Governor's Office of Economic Development. Lewis?
So I know many of you are looking at the program. I always have mic issues, so I'll just take it out now. I am Joel Ayala's able-bodied stunt double. That's what they call me. Our director couldn't actually be here today. He was detained down in, not detained like by the police, but he was otherwise detained. And I wasn't able to make it up for this event, so they asked me to stand in for them. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here and speak in front of you today. I don't know that I've ever actually been a keynote. That's always Joel's role. I'm always, like I said, this able-bodied stunt double. So today I just want to give you a quick overview of our office, some of our accomplishments, the program that I oversee in innovation and emerging technology, and kind of what we see moving forward to kind of get California back on track and being successful in this new knowledge-based economy. On April 8th of last year, GOED came to be. We were formed by executive order, and so what happened is resources from around the state were brought together from different agencies to put together a one-stop shop, and that's what we are. We have permit assistance and streamlining. We have some projects that have been successful there. We have business retention and attraction. We have strike teams. We have international trade in our office, and then we have innovation and emerging tech. People always kind of ask me what that means, and I'll try to explain that later. It's a really, really long title, Deputy Director of Innovation and Emerging Technology in the Governor's Office of Economic Development. It's a long title, but we try to do a lot of good things. We're celebrating our 1-year anniversary this week on Thursday up in Sacramento, and it's kind of our time to kind of show that we're a small and nimble team, but we're out to try to do good for businesses in California, to retain those jobs, to create jobs, but also to stimulate the economy. As of April 8th last year, we've actually helped or assisted in some kind of way 3,800 business owners and individuals. 95% of those businesses are small businesses, which we understand kind of drive the economy in the state. Some of our assistance includes, like I said, streamlined permitting, starting a business, relocation expansion, certain regulatory challenges we help overcome, and much more. Some of the projects that we've actually worked on recently. GOED helped bring manufacturing to the state. Everybody says that manufacturing is leaving the state, manufacturing has changed. Mounting Systems up in West Sacramento decided that California was a place for its headquarters, but also to set up its manufacturing facility. Right across the bay in Mission Bay, Bayer Healthcare opened up a 49,000 square foot innovation center. And we helped make sure that the final steps of that were taken care of. We're working on, and this one is kind of one of my favorites, just because I drive a Yukon. Gas prices these days are astronomically crazy, but I try to do it in a green way. So I use ethanol fuel, and we're actually partnered up with Propel Fuels to help them bring 75 fueling stations, biofuels fueling stations throughout the state. More recently, out in Mare Island, we helped Allied Defense Recycling with the permitting issues that they were having. And we were able to keep to the mothball fleet that's out there. We're making sure that the parts or the ships are recycled here as opposed to having to ship them to Texas. Texas always gets a lot of notoriety these days. But California is perfectly able to compete with what they have because we're California. You talked about it. I hear every day about the challenges that are California. And a lot of indexes show that California's taxes and regulations are too stringent. But somehow, some way, you guys and businesses throughout the state find a way to succeed. Another project that's kind of near and dear to me on the innovation side. On the innovation side, I actually end up picking up projects that are kind of in the idea phase. They maybe have a nice map, nice drawing, and I try to help them so that their project becomes a true vision and a true success. One such project that I'm actually currently working on is down in Riverside. It's March Life Care. It's a new health and wellness city that they're building on March Reserve Base. It's a $3.3 billion project. Throughout its life, it will create over 12,000 jobs. Currently, it's been about 1,000 construction jobs down there. But it's going to be a new way of looking at healthcare, and it's going to be a model for the country. Another project I'm working on down in Calexico. They're building a mental loss facility down there. $70 million project. We're partnered up with the USDA to make this happen. But there's going to be 7 of those throughout the state, taking care of veterans with PTSD, but also taking care of some of our more elderly population that suffer from dementia. Now, that kind of gets to the innovation side. What is innovation? Innovation is kind of the step between having an idea and bringing a product to market that actually can be commercialized or that can be a benefit to a community. And so to that end, California is all about innovation. That's what we do. That's what we do best. And through a program that I oversee out of our office, the Innovation Hub program, we're trying to enhance and harness California's innovation spirit. The program was launched in March of 2010 under the Business, Transportation, and Housing Department and moved over to GoEd on April 8th. And it's a forward-looking program that was developed to improve the state's national and global competitiveness. Currently, there are 12 hubs up and down the state, from San Diego to Chico, Livermore, and Fresno. They cover clean tech in Sacramento, the East Bay, Los Angeles, and Coachella Valley, biotech in San Francisco, biomedical in Orange County, and socially relevant technologies out of Sonoma and San Jose. Here in the East Bay in particular, the East Bay Green Corridor was put together by mayors in 8 cities, Lawrence Berkeley National Labs, University of California, Berkeley Chancellor, California State University East Bay President, and the Peralta Community College District Chancellor, who voted in 2010 to develop standardized regional solar photovoltaic permitting process to help streamline and drive the local solar market here in the Bay and bring it to scale. The East Bay Green Corridor's goal is to remove barriers and increase efficiencies and reduce costs, and bring economic benefits to the region, including business expansion and quality jobs. They want to help meet cities' climate action goals, which kind of falls in line with what you guys are doing with trying to preserve the environment. So when I read the question that Joel was supposed to address today, I kind of fell back and said, oh, hey, I don't know what Joel would say. But I'm going to try my best to just kind of give you an overview of kind of how we see it in the rest of the office. So the question is, what will it take to unleash the promise of the San Francisco Bay Delta region for lifting economic growth and achieving global competitiveness and trade and commerce balanced with sustaining a healthy natural environment? So that sounds like my title. That's really, really long, really complicated. But I mean, the short answer is it's actually going to take all of us. It's going to take all of us partnering together to actually make that happen. Yeah, California has some regulatory issues. We all know that. But as long as we all kind of band together, public-private partnerships, we look at new ways and new creative ways of doing things throughout the state, I'm sure that we'll be able to bring California, who currently still is the 8th largest economy in the world, back up from the ashes that everybody is claiming that we have here, especially Texas. So I just want to say, part of that answer is California companies are always investing in the future every day. And despite the doom and gloom rhetoric that we hear, I just got an email yesterday. Did you know 69 companies were leaving the state, and one of them is our competitor? And do you know anything that would make them leave? People leave. I can't really answer that. They make their own decisions. I'm glad that the company that emailed me is staying, and we're going to do everything we can to help them stay and succeed. But like I said, there's indices all over the place. You can spend them any way you want to spend them. But the fact is that tax and regulations, California, they're a little different than most other places. But the way of life here in California is actually what helps the economy strive. It's actually what helps businesses succeed here in California. People come, if you're a graduate from University of Michigan, I don't know anybody here, where would you want to work? You want to stay in Michigan or you want to come out to California? We have those businesses out here. We have those energy sectors out here. They're known for the storage storage market up in Michigan. We have 9 focus areas in California. We can actually sustain probably about 12. And throughout the 12 iHubs, we can definitely support more folks that want to move to California and help us succeed. But part of the companies leaving the state is just, like I said, part of an emerging knowledge-based economy, where if California has the knowledge, we're moving away from. If California has the knowledge, we're able to export that knowledge and technologies and IP and lead the world in kind of a different direction. The numerous signs of a wildly prosperous future for California's economy is developing in front of our eyes. It's exciting to see the possibilities. In the first quarter of 2011, California accounted for 40% of all capital venture deals. That's $2.8 billion in new investments. The largest deals going to industries that include software, biomedical devices, and renewable energy. Northern California, including the Bay Area, dominated the state's venture capital scene with 73% of the deals. That's why everybody wants to move to the Bay Area. $2.3 billion of the state's $2.8 billion total was right here in the Bay. In 2010, 150 of the largest Silicon Valley companies had their most profitable year in history. 2 weeks ago, Governor Brown signed the nation's most aggressive renewable energy goal, calling for 33% of all electricity to come from renewable sources: wind, solar, biomass, etc. As we know, actions like these stimulate the green technologies in the state, creating tens of thousands of new jobs, improving local air quality, promoting energy independence, and reducing greenhouse gas emissions. One such example, for example, because of California's history and aggressive environmental policies over the last 15 years, energy generation employment accounted for the largest job increase in green economy, adding nearly 20,000 jobs across the state. And solar makes up the largest portion and the strongest growth. So what is it going to take to protect the environment, create jobs? It's going to take people like you being dedicated to what you do. It's going to take a new way of thinking. It's going to take you guys partnering with state agencies, federal agencies, to turn around California, to make it to keep it where it is, to keep it the greenest state, to make it better for future generations to come. I want to thank you and enjoy the rest of the conference.